Snapshot 25W33A brought us data pack version 83.1 and resource pack version 65.2 with stuff on copper golem heads, new tags, and more. My name is Sliced and this is a showcase of all the changes. Let's start with the copper golems, which can now have items on their heads. Setting an item into their head slot means that item is rendered on top of their heads, with one caveat. This only works for block items, and the rendered form is the block form rather than the item form, but the data is the item data. There's also a change to the block states for the shelves, which now have an align items to bottom boolean block state, which is always false by default, but if set to true, forces items displayed to sit on the bottom of the shelf like in the previous snapshot. Let's talk about commands. Shaders no longer get stuck if you use the kill command on a player spectating a mob. The run command click event has been expanded to work with commands that use chat when the chat window is not available, such as when chat is hidden or when a dialogue tries to run a command involving chat. Instead of this silently failing, a screen will now show that lets you insert the command into the chat window if it's available, or copy the command to the clipboard. This also fixes some problems with dialogues where you are no longer stuck on screens if the button to exit it would run a chat command. And speaking of dialogues, selection boxes of plain messages in dialogues can no longer get cut off, and the new chat drafts now save your chat input if a dialogue opens while you were typing a message. In custom enchantment news, explode effects now have a field called block effects, which controls the particles spawned per block, much like the particles that were just added back for regular explosions. This field is a list where each entry has a weight controlling how often that entry is chosen, a particle to spawn, and then scaling values for positioning and speed of the particles. In tag news, the shearable from copper golem tag controls which items can be sheared off a copper golem. The candidate for Iron Golem gift entity type tag controls which entities an Iron Golem will walk up to with a flower. And the accepts Iron Golem gift entity type tag controls which mob types it will actually give a flower to by placing it in their head slot. And finally, the cannot be pushed onto boats entity type tag controls which entities do not automatically enter boats when they get close enough. On the resource pack side, there is a new display transform for block and item models called On Shelf, which is used when that item is displayed on a shelf. And there are new sounds and textures for the end flashes. And that's all for this time. Thank you for watching. My name is Sliced, and I'll see you next time.